They threw a 19-year-old heart patient over an untouched medical card, ignored her for 6 hours, then suddenly panicked when the chief surgeon heard her last name. So who buried her child?
Hands where I can see them. Before I could even turn around, somebody slammed the medcart drawer shut and grabbed my wrist so hard my shoulder popped. People in the ER waiting room started staring immediately. A little kid stopped crying just to watch. "I didn't take anything," I said. "I was trying not to pass out." "Save it," the nurse snapped. One security guard yanked my backpack off my shoulder, while the other pushed me toward the lobby doors like I was some kind of criminal. My chest was pounding so hard I could barely breathe, but nobody cared. Phones were already out, recording. "I am a patient," I kept saying. "You've got the wrong person." The nurse folded her arms. "Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates." "Then why were you standing over an open narcotics cart?" I looked around at all those faces watching me get dragged across the hospital floor, and that's when I realized nobody was going to listen unless I said his name. "Call Dr. Adrian Vale." The second those words left my mouth, the nurse actually laughed. Not nervous laughter either, the kind people use when they already think you're pathetic. "Oh, of course," she said loudly, making sure everyone around us could hear. "Now she knows the chief surgeon." A few people in the waiting room smirked. Somebody muttered, "Classic." My face burned. I tried pulling my arm free, but the guard tightened his grip and shoved me harder toward the sliding doors. Pain shot through my chest so sharply, my knees almost buckled. "I'm serious," I gasped. "Please, just tell him Naomi Rivera is here." The nurse's expression changed for half a second at my last name. Just a flicker. Then it disappeared. "Search her bag," she ordered. The guard dumped everything onto the hospital floor. My inhaler, my phone charger, a folded hoodie, and the envelope with my mother's handwriting on it. The nurse bent down, picked it up, and read the front aloud. "For Naomi, in case something happens to me." Then she slowly looked back at me. And before I could grab it from her, someone behind us suddenly shouted, "Wait, what did you just say her name was?" The entire lobby went quiet for a second. Not normal quiet either, the kind where people stop moving because they feel something shifting. A younger nurse stood near the admissions desk, staring directly at me now. "Her name," she said again, slower this time. "You said Naomi Rivera?" The older nurse, Carla, looked irritated. "Yeah, why?" But the younger nurse didn't answer her. She was looking at me too carefully now, like she was trying to match my face to something she'd seen before. The security guard still had my wrist twisted behind my back. "It hurts," I said quietly. He barely loosened his grip. The younger nurse stepped closer. "How old are you?" 19. "And your mother's name?" I hesitated. Carla immediately cut in. "Can we stop entertaining this? Police are already on the way." That word hit me like ice water. Police. Around us, people started whispering louder. A man near the vending machines lifted his phone higher to keep recording. I could already imagine the video online later. "Girl caught stealing meds at hospital." My stomach turned. "My mom was Elena Rivera," I finally said. The younger nurse's face lost color instantly. Carla noticed it too. "What is wrong with you?" The younger nurse leaned closer and lowered her voice. Did Dr. Vale send you here?" Before I could answer, the emergency elevator doors opened across the lobby. 3 surgeons walked out still wearing surgical caps, and right in the middle of them was Dr. Adrian Vale himself. The second the younger nurse called his name, he looked over casually, then saw me pinned against the wall by security. Dr. Adrian Vale stopped walking so suddenly the surgeons behind him nearly ran into him. For a moment, nobody moved. He was famous enough that even patients in the waiting room recognized him immediately. People whispered his name under their breath while security still held me like I was dangerous. Then his eyes dropped to my wrist. "Let her go," he said. Not loud. Worse. The guard hesitated. "Sir, she was caught near an open narcotics." I said let her go. The guard released me so fast I stumbled sideways into the wall. Pain exploded through my chest again, sharp enough to steal my breath. Dr. Vale crossed the lobby in seconds. Up close, he looked nothing like the polished hospital billboards. He looked angry, panicked. His eyes scanned my face like he was searching for proof of something he already feared. "What happened?" he demanded. Carla stepped forward defensively. She was tampering with a medication cart and refused to cooperate. "I was trying not to faint," I shot back. My voice cracked embarrassingly on the last word. Vale turned toward admissions. "How long has she been waiting?" Nobody answered. That silence told him everything. Finally, the younger nurse spoke carefully. "Almost 6 hours." His expression hardened instantly. "She reported chest pain when she checked in," the nurse added, but her chart was marked non-urgent. Dr. Vale looked back at Carla. "Who marked it?" Carla folded her arms. "She has a history flagged in the system. Family substance abuse. She matched the profile." I felt every person in the lobby staring at me again. Then Dr. Vale said something that made the entire room freeze. "She's not a profile," he said coldly. "She's my daughter." Nobody spoke. The words just hung there in the middle of the lobby while every single person stared at us. The security guard who'd twisted my arm stepped backward immediately, like he'd been burned. Carla blinked twice. "You're... what?" Dr. Vale ignored her completely. He was looking at me now. Not like a surgeon looking at a patient, like someone realizing they'd arrived too late. "You should be upstairs," he said quietly. I almost laughed at that. Instead, I folded my arms tighter around myself and said, "I tried." That hit him harder than yelling would have. Behind us, the younger nurse hurried to the admissions computer while another doctor pulled up my chart. I watched their expressions change in real time. "Her tests were never processed," one of them said. "What?" "They were ordered hours ago but never moved through." Vale turned slowly toward Carla. "You told me she was tampering with narcotics," he said. "She was standing over an open cart," Carla snapped, though she sounded less certain now. "And with her family history..."
Wait, so her heart scans were sitting there the whole time, and she still pushed the theft story first. What was she trying to cover?
"My mother is dead," I cut in. The whole lobby went still again. I swallowed hard before continuing. "She died 3 months ago. I came here because I couldn't breathe anymore." For the first time since this started, guilt flickered across a few faces around us, but not Carla's. "She still shouldn't have been near medication," she said stubbornly. Then a cardiologist rushed through the hallway doors holding a tablet. He looked straight at Dr. Vale. "Adrian," he said sharply, "her scans just came through." Something in his voice made my stomach drop. He lowered the tablet slowly. "If this wasn't caught tonight," he looked at me, then back at Vale, "she might not have survived the weekend." The lobby exploded into motion after that. Doctors started calling orders across the hallway. A wheelchair appeared beside me almost instantly, and someone clipped an oxygen monitor onto my finger while another nurse checked my pulse. "Cardiac ICU is ready. Prep an echo. Get blood work moving now." Just minutes earlier, those same people had watched security drag me across the floor like I was trash. Now, nobody could even look me in the eye. Dr. Vale stayed beside the wheelchair as they rushed me toward the elevators. I could feel him trying to say something, but every time he looked at me, he stopped himself. Finally, I said it for him. "You knew this could happen to me, didn't you?" His silence answered first. Then quietly, "The condition runs in my family." I looked away before he could see my expression crack. All day, I'd been treated like some addict trying to steal medication, when the truth was way worse. There was actually something wrong with my heart, something genetic, something that could have killed me while people stood around recording on their phones. Inside the ICU, doctors confirmed the damage had already started. My heart rhythm was dangerously unstable. If the scans had been delayed much longer, I could have gone into cardiac arrest without warning. And suddenly, every decision made that night became a disaster for the hospital. Security reports were pulled, camera footage got reviewed, the medication cart inventory came back untouched. Nothing had been stolen, not one thing. Nurse Carla was removed from duty before sunrise. Turns out, I wasn't even the first patient she'd profiled. Complaints from other people started surfacing after someone uploaded the lobby video online. Millions of views in 2 days. The clip showed me begging for help while security forced me outside. It also showed Dr. Adrian Vale walking into frame and ordering them to let me go. That part spread the fastest. By the end of the week, reporters were outside the hospital asking why a teenage patient with cardiac symptoms had been ignored for 6 hours because staff assumed she was drug-seeking. The hospital launched an internal investigation. The 2 guards were suspended. Carla hired a lawyer. And Dr. Vale? He publicly acknowledged me as his daughter for the first time in my life. That story hit almost as hard as the hospital scandal itself. His reputation took damage. So did his marriage. People wanted explanations about my mother, about the secrecy, about why I grew up hidden while he became one of the most respected surgeons in the state. But for once, he stopped protecting himself first. A month later, after surgery and weeks of recovery, I finally walked back through the same hospital lobby on my own feet. Nobody stared this time. Nobody whispered. Staff members moved out of my way quietly as I headed toward the exit. Dr. Vale walked beside me carrying my bag, the same one security had dumped onto the floor that night. Right before the doors opened, I stopped and looked at him. "You know what the worst part was?" I asked. He looked over carefully. "I kept telling them they had the wrong person." He lowered his eyes. Because now he understood I hadn't just meant the accusation. I meant my whole life.
If one delayed child and one assumption could nearly kill someone in a crowded hospital, how many patients get written off quietly every single day without anyone important hearing their name in time?